Chapter 38. Black crosses everywhere. The squadron was in shambles. Everyone was tired beyond belief. Get your flight gear on, buddy. Something big is up. Johnny lounged in the door. He had a plaster on his cheekbone and dark smudges under his eyes. What happened? Got clipped by a Hun yesterday. I was damn lucky. Kathleen looked like a Swiss cheese. They had one hell of a job riveting her up. He pulled a wry face. There are rumors of an invasion floating around. A call came through for Fred and he said we were to remain very close by. We're going to be put on readiness soon. He was right. Readiness meant be ready for takeoff within 5 minutes. They were upgraded to stand by, strapped in their cockpits ready for takeoff. Then the stand down command came. There was something going on. Then he felt the nerves knot in his stomach. You think this is going to be it? Johnny nodded. The set of his mouth betrayed his tension. I think they've grown impatient. It's been head to toe for too long. They're going to try and break us. Danny nodded grimly. That's what my gut is telling me too. At just after 11, they were back on standby. And then they were up. So was every other fighter in the RAF. They were bombers heading for London. Endless numbers, endless waves. Swarms and swarms of black dots came flooding over the channel. The fighters were on the defense. Try to cut them off before hitting their target. Break the wave of incoming bombers and, if possible, do not engage the fighters. The RAF fighters were congregating in the massive big wing formations, but once in the fight, it was every man for himself in a maelstrom of planes, flying tracer, explosions. When the Bf-109s engaged, the faster Spitfires would tangle with them and leave the bombers to the larger bulk of Hurricanes. Danny saw a flaming Hurricane go down, down, and explode against the wall of a house. The dying Dornier sprayed hot oil over his cockpit. He cursed softly. He spotted the shamrocks of Kathleen briefly flitting by in a deadly tangle with a 109. Then he had to roll to avoid crashing into a 110 Zerstörer. It fired at him. Then there was a 109 in his sights. He fired a burst, held the trigger. The wing shredded, door broke off. The Messerschmitt fell away. Then he was amongst the bombers, fired at a Heinkel. There was flak in the distance, black bursts. The vapor trails spun across the sky like a giant spider's web. Shoot, break, roll, the macabre dance with no thought, no time to think, no idea where the rest of the wing were. It broke as his fuel ran low, headed home. One by one the squadron came in, refueled, patched up as needed. They were 2 planes short, new boys, with only a few hours of dogfight training. Their bags not even unpacked yet. Tea and then scramble yet again. The day was endless. The waves were endless. Is this how we go then? In waves, less and less of us, and them still coming, until no one is left. But yet, at the end of the day, the attack had broken, and somehow he was alive. Numb and tired, he headed home, the late afternoon sky dull from smoke and contrails. He waited with the others for the rest to come in. They came in drips and drabs, shot up, bedraggled. It was Johnny who limped in last. Kathleen, too, was heavily damaged, smoke trailing behind her. The landing gear was stuck. The tail was in shreds. He skidded in on his belly. Johnny dragged himself out of the cockpit, jumped off the wing, then just sat down on the ground. Danny went to him, grabbed him by the hand, pulled him up. Johnny was laughing, but his eyes were very bright. Yankee, I think I just bust my knee. It was an uproarious affair in the mess that night. Johnny had hurt his knee ligaments. A nurse wrapped it up for him, gave him some tablets and told him to keep it quiet for a couple of days. Kathleen, too, is probably a bust anyway, and there's nothing extra to fly. Everything's pretty stuffed. Let's get drunk.